Pasuk Parsha Shemini. This week's Parsha speaks about Nadav and Avihu, that they took some incense and they brought it in, and it was a foreign fire which they weren't commanded, and they died. So the verse continues and it says, in Pasuk, let's turn to page 594. In page 594, there it says that Hashem told Aaron, Vayomer Hashem al Aaron, Lamar, stating, Yayin v'shecher al tesht, that you should make sure not to drink wine which is intoxicating. Don't drink intoxicating wine. Ata uvanecha itach, you and your children. B'vayachem eloyel moed. When you come into the Beis HaMikdash to serve Hashem, you have to be careful not to drink intoxicating wine, not to be drunk. And if not, right, this is one of the negative commandments, that if someone does walk into the Beis HaMikdash and serves the actual, he does the service while he's drunk, so that would be going against the mitzvah that we see right here. This is mitzvah, it's 152, Kuf Nun Beis, 152. It says, don't come into the Beis HaMikdash with being drunk, intoxicated. That's the mitzvah, one of the mitzvahs from this week. And the punishment is velo samusu, that if you don't drink wine, right, you make sure not to do that, so then you won't die. That there was a decree that Hashem says it will be, Hashem's going to take, it's not a death penalty in this, by the court system here, but it's from Hashem. Hashem says that it's punishable by death from heaven. And this is Chukas Olam Dorosachem. This is for all our generations. We have to be very careful not to come into the Beis HaMikdash when we're drunk. Okay, so that's what we learn out. We learn out that apparently so now the question is, right, and he brings down that Aaron was telling them, that teaches us that interesting idea there. But what we learn out, this is a mitzvah for all the generations, and it's even relevant for today. For sure for a Kohen has to be careful not to drink wine, because the Beis HaMikdash might be built today.
So you can never drink wine, or you can't drink before you go
So the Gemara actually speaks out that depends. There were different groups of Kohanim. They were called a mishmar. It was called a watching. Now, in each watching were 7 families. There were 7 families who were part of each group, and what happened was they would serve. Each week would be a different group, and each day would be a different family. Right? Let's say so. There would be 7 families to each group, and each day there would be a different family who would be servicing in the Beis HaMikdash. Now, if you are a Kohen and you know whose family you come from, and you know which mishmar, which watch you're part of, so then you know basically which day, when it's going to be your turn. If the Beis HaMikdash will be built today, then you'll know that Tuesday, Parsha Shemini.
That's not true, though.
Why?
How can you know what the schedule is now?
No, assuming that the schedule will stay the same.
That's a big assumption.
Yeah, no, it will stay. Well, it's not. Why is that so big to change? We don't want to change the schedule. Maybe we'll keep the...
Well, you have to change the schedule if we're saying there aren't that 7 families anymore. If they're lesser families, or each family is smaller, or...
There will still be the 7 families. There might be more people in those 7 families.
But why
Probably,
can't there be less families?
What, they died out, the whole family?
They're not available. A lot of time has passed.
So the whole family got, okay, could be. So we'll have to see. That's an interesting idea. So the Gemara says that if you know which watch you are, but you don't know which group family you are, so then you know the week when if the Beis HaMikdash will be built today, you know that it's going to be, your week is Parshas, Shemini. So you have to be careful not to drink wine a whole week, Parsha Shemini, because the Beis HaMikdash might be built, and then you're going to have to be called to do your work. You can't go in when you're drunk. So that's if you know which watch you are. If you know which watch you are and you know which family you are, then you just have to be careful. Let's say Tuesdays, make sure you don't drink wine on Tuesday.
People with this knowledge?
But other people, some people know. If you could trace, some people have, they trace back their lineage. They know, certain people know they come from, the Vilna Gaon, or some people know where they come from to an extent. So Kohanim, if he's a real, authentic Kohen and he has a lot of lineage, some Kohanim will bring back their, they have a whole list, a whole line, a tree, family tree. So if they know, if they don't know, so there's an argument. The first view is the Tanakama. They say he can never drink wine because the Beis Hamikdash might be built, and then he's going to be stuck, right? He might be intoxicated, and it might be his turn for the service of the Beis Hamikdash. On the other hand, the Rabbi, I think Rabbi Yehuda argues. He says no, that it's too hard to ask such a thing, and we don't know when the Beis Hamikdash will be built, so it might be a while. So he says that you're allowed to drink wine. So it's an argument to this effect.
How long will it take to build it? If we started right now,
I heard it falls from heaven.
Yeah.
It's just like it would be there a minute later. It'd be finished.
Yeah. So the truth is, it's an interesting idea. How long it will take.
With Mashiach, right? When he comes, it'll fall from heaven, or are they not connected?
Yeah, no, it is supposed to fall from heaven. The Minchas Chinuch does speak about this whole idea. He wants to know also, like, there are certain days that we know it won't come. Maybe it won't come. Mashiach's not going to come on Shabbos, right?
For sure.
So why can't you drink wine on Shabbos? The Gemara is dealing with this in Eruvin, because the Gemara says there's such a thing that you can't walk more than 2,000 cubit amos on Shabbos, unless out of civilization. So Gemara wants to know if Mashiach could come, he's going to have to walk. Gemara is dealing with that issue there. If he could come in from so far away, so there the Gemara says, yeah, but he's not going to come on Shabbos or Yontif. So maybe, and therefore that would be if someone wants to say that someone said, I'm going to be a Nazir, I want to let my hair grow and I'm not going to drink wine, I want to be a Nazirite for one day, the day that Mashiach comes. So what's the din on such a person? Right? He says, that's what he says. He says, I want to be a Nazir, but not today. I want to be the day that Mashiach comes. What does he do? So you have to be scared. If Mashiach comes that day, so you can't drink wine even in the morning. Right? It starts from the morning. So the Gemara speaks about this, and the Gemara says that he's able to drink on Shabbos and Yontif. On Shabbos and Yontif, he's able to drink. And the idea is, we have an idea that Eliyahu Hanavi is going to come and inform us the day before Mashiach comes. It says, Hinei Anochi Shaleach Lachem. There's a song and the verse that I am sending to you. Hinei Anochi Shaleach Lachem. Eliyahu
24 hours notice.
Hanavi Lifnei Boy Yom Hagadol. Before the big day will come, Eliyahu Hanavi is going to come.
So then if he hasn't, so you can't do that on Shabbat either.
Now Eliyahu Hanavi is not going to come on Friday. Because the Gemara says people are too busy getting ready
for Friday
for Shabbos. So if they're too busy getting ready for Shabbos,
there you go.
So he won't come on Friday. If he won't come on Friday, so Mashiach won't come on Shabbos.
Really?
So if so, the Minchas Chinuch asked the question. So if so, then Mashiach won't come on Shabbos. So the same reason why this guy says he's going to be a Nazir the day that Mashiach comes, so he's allowed to drink wine on Shabbos. So in our case also, a Kohen should be able to drink wine on Shabbos, according to both views. Let the Kohen drink wine. So on that he says, truth is, I think you intended for what the Minchas Chinuch says. So he says, you're right. Over there he's talking about the day when Mashiach will come, right? So, but he says Beis Hamikdash could be built even before David comes, right? Which means there's going to be Mashiach. Mashiach's going to come, but that is a different happening than the building of the Beis Hamikdash. The building of the Beis Hamikdash could be before that,
but also can't be on Shabbat.
Now that's an interesting question. Could that be on Shabbos? That's an interesting thing.
So who would do it?
No, so
God. do things on Shabbat.
It's an interesting question.
Come on now.
It's going to be sent down in a fire, the third base of Mikdash. So it's interesting. We'll have to think about this question. It's a good question. But so if you say if somehow the base of Mikdash will be built, so then that's why you couldn't bring a proof from that case of the person who said he wants to be a Nazir, because binyan base of Mikdash, to build the base of Mikdash, that will be on one day. But maybe Mashiach won't come on Shabbos. But maybe Beis Mikdash will be built on Shabbos. Therefore, the Kohen cannot eat it, cannot cut his hair or drink wine on Shabbos because of that. And now, here you go. You just were intended for the question: how could you build a Beis Mikdash on Shabbos? This is a great question. The rule is, right? We know about the Mishkan. When we learned about the Mishkan, they weren't allowed to build a Mishkan on Shabbos. So if so, the same way they couldn't build a Mishkan, they also couldn't build a Beis Mikdash. How are we going to build a Beis Mikdash on Shabbos? So you just were intended for the Minchas Chinuch. The Minchas Chinuch answers that the answer is, he brings Rashi, and he says that it will be from Hashem. It could be on Shabbos. It's going to be just come straight down from heaven. It won't even require building. That's how he answers the question. It's only when you're going to do building, when you're going to take bricks and put something together, that's the problem. But if Hashem just sends down the Beis Mikdash ready-made,
no assembly required.
Yeah. Therefore, it could be on Shabbos and Yontif. And therefore, in our case, we have now an interesting scenario where a Kohen can't drink wine.
Sorry, also, I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong here, but when Mashiach does come, the mitzvot will be different. You won't have to rest in Shabbos. All reality will be different. And there'll be a whole new set of laws.
So it's interesting. Some of the laws will be different, some of them will be the same, but there's different views from the earlier commentaries of how will it look in the times of Mashiach. The Rambam says that in times of Mashiach, it's going to be pretty much the same. This is the Rambam's view. There's different views. The Rambam says it's going to be the same. The only difference will be that there won't be any foreign dominion over us. We will be in charge. We will have
the whole world will be Israel.
Yeah, and all the non-Jews will come and they will say, this is the real God. This is the real
service.
Right. This is the real religion, and all the Jews will realize that there's nothing else that we have really to do except to learn Torah and do mitzvahs. That's the ultimate truth. Everything else, people now there's a pull for money. In those days, there will be a pull to learn Torah. It will be, I think Rabbi Victor Miller used to say, there's going to be the news will be on the New York Times. It won't be speaking about business. It will be speaking about the latest shir that they heard, the latest chiddush that someone had about drinking wine.
What about the spirits that raise from Mount Scopus, and you'll see your old ancestors come back to life. It'll be a complete, reality won't be the same. Now, the souls of trees will come alive,
Now you're asking if the time of Mashiach is the same time of the Tchiyas HaMesim, of the reliving of the dead, right? Because it's not clear. Maybe that's two different times.
Well, I heard it was the same time.
Yeah. So this is there's a lot of different or a few different views. So we'll have to think about it. We'll have to work on it. But this is a Rambam's view. The Rambam says that it will be the same exact world, just you won't have any pull not to do the Torah and mitzvahs. You'll have a push to do Torah and mitzvahs. So you're not going to get as much reward. Right? A person's won't get the same reward he has for coming to a shir.
Well, if all the Goyim are serving the Jews, it'll be a much different world.
It'll be a very different world. And there will be a push for learning Torah. So the Rambam, it comes out that you won't get so much reward, right? If you come out for a class, on a Wednesday night, and it's snowing and everything, you won't get so much reward as you'll get tonight, because tonight there's no push, nothing pushing you out the door. Now, if anything, you're going against the flow, right? You have to push yourself out and go against gravity. So, but in the times of Mashiach, everyone's going to be running to shiurim, right? They'll be pulling you, so you're not going to get so much reward, because the rule is, according to the pain, that's how much reward you get. According to the pain, lefum tzara agra, that's how much reward you get. So, therefore, now's the time when a person has to grab grab what he could, grab the mitzvahs, because now they're worth a lot. Now they're worth a lot of money. However much, how much Torah you grab now it's worth like, worth triple the amount, 5 times the amount.
Bonus round.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the idea here.
I have just one question on what you said though.
Yeah.
Like it seems to me that also the God also wouldn't do the Beit Hamikdash on Shabbat. Because the source there said that, God who would do the Beit Mikdash on Shabbat, because we can't build it, but God would build it so it could come on Shabbat. But wouldn't he also rest on Shabbat?
Yeah, he'd rest, but my idea, what I'm saying is that he doesn't have to build it. It's only resting from work, from putting
God
it
does his creation on Shabbat, doesn't he?
But what's the creation?
He's conjuring something.
What is it? He's sending down a ready built. It's ready built Beis Hamikdash.
It's just sitting in heaven,
Yes.
and he's poising it down.
So what's that called? I don't. You have to see which malacha goes into which type of work is that, right? Maybe it would be.
Heavenly work.
Well, no, it's a different level. But like God created the world in 6 days, and the 7th day He rested, right?
Yeah.
That's why we have Shabbat.
Yeah.
So I would say that the Beit Hamikdash would fall under one of the things He has to do in the first 6 days, not the 7th day, because then He's not resting; He's creating.
Yeah. So we'll have to think about what exactly He's creating. He says that since it will be a heavenly thing. I hear it's a good question. We have to think about it. But it seems that since it's a heavenly work, it won't be man-made. That's how the Menachos Chinuch answers. Since it's a heavenly, therefore it's not a problem. So we'll have to think about it. But this is I believe this is Rashi. This is Rashi. Yeah, Rashi's answering this. So Rashi's answering. If you want, we can look it up. If you want, we can check this up. Rashi on Daf Lamed in Rosh Hashanah. If you want, should we get a Rosh Hashanah? You want to see how he explains it? We can look it up. Okay, we'll look it up then.
Explaining how God could bring the Beit Hamikdash on Shabbat.
Yeah. That right. Or Rashi says this idea. First point is that a Nazir, on the day that Mashiach comes, he's allowed to cut his hair and drink wine on most days. But what about Shabbos? Shabbos is the only day he's allowed to drink wine. Shabbos. But not the rest of the week because we're scared Mashiach might come.
He said, I have children.
Now.
So suddenly she thinks, oh good, he has children, then I never have to worry about becoming what?
Now let's go further. The question is, what about drinking wine? Let's go to the idea that now a Kohen cannot drink wine nowadays. What about... Tosfos wants to say that maybe if he's in the middle of a meal, he could drink wine.
Good question.
Because in the middle of a meal, it's not so intoxicating.
He's not Naaman.
A person doesn't get so drunk if he drinks in the middle of the meal. Right? I think they say this when they're teaching. It could be about driver's ed, right? Did they say this idea? They say you shouldn't drink wine, right? When you're driving. But it could be that while... Now they give you different sizes, beer.
How big you are too.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if they say now. Let's say it's the middle of a meal. Could be that's better. So Tosfos wants to say that that's okay because there it won't intoxicate because it's mixing with the food.
Rashi says, "B'shas kiddushin arba liban." At the time of Kiddush,
now,
he
this
says,
idea, right, it's really brought up in terms of, that's on Pesach, we're coming up to Pesach, so it's going to be relevant to us because the rule is that we drink 4 cups of wine, but we're not supposed to drink wine at the end of the Seder or the beginning. In between the first cup and the second cup, we're not supposed to drink, and in between the third cup and the fourth cup, we're not supposed to drink. And the reason is because we're going to get drunk. And we're not going to be able to do the mitzvah of the night. So because of that, we're not allowed to drink wine. Not between the first and second cup or between the third and fourth cup. Now, the time when we are allowed to drink wine besides for the 4 cups is during the meal. During the actual meal, right? Towards the end of the Seder, right? Kaddish Orchid. By Shulchan Aruch, when you get up to the meal, then you are allowed to drink wine. And the reason is like this idea, because during the meal it's not so intoxicating. So Tosfos therefore wants to say that a Kohen is allowed to drink wine during the meal. But he doesn't. And then he's allowed to go into the base of Mikdash because they won't make him drunk.
He's the buyer.
Not her.
He's the buyer, right.
And
So,
he doesn't need to be aware.
uh-huh.
So that's the idea there. Right, is that good? You hear that idea? And it's interesting, to show you, let's just look at a pasuk here, all the way in Bereshis. In Bereshis there was someone, let's look up, back in the beginning. His name was Malki Tzedek.
Regarding what he said at the time of
Malki Tzedek was a king. He was a king. Let's look up by the war.
With what he said at the time of Nisa,
I'm going to show you something
right?
very interesting. Here we go.
So,
Here, page 64.
how could somebody
Page 64
come up and show that this
was the story here
is,
with this king. His name was Malki Tzedek. He was the king of Shalem.
well, Rabbi to the rescue.
And he says there that he took out bread and wine. Who Kohen Kel Elyon, and he was the Kohen. He was the Kohen for who?
Since at the time of Misa
For-
he retracted.
For Hashem, I
So
believe.
Ema Kushta.
And he then, Vayivarochehu, he gave Abraham a blessing.
In other
Gave
words,
Abraham a
in
blessing.
the Brisa.
So if it's interesting, when he took out bread and wine. So Rashi says just simply that he took out bread and wine because they just finished fighting a war.
He just popped it out.
But
He never made. in
they
the
bring down an
Mishnah,
idea that
he just said-
based on this whole thing that we're
Yeah,
saying,
he never
he
said
wanted to
anything
bring the
about
bread
Kiddushin.
first, that way they'd be in the middle of the meal.
So Pshat Kiddushin
And
never
he was a
said-
Kohen. It says he was a
He
Kohen, right? You see that
never said
pasuk,
anything
your
about
test? You see 19, right?
He
Your
never said
test.
anything about it.
So it says there that he was a
He
Kohen.
doesn't know.
So he wanted to continue to serve,
So the Mishnah
or he wanted to, or if the base of Mikdash would be built. In either of the two cases, he wanted to be able to serve.
Let's see Rashi.
So therefore, he took out the bread first and then the wine. That way, it will be in the middle of a meal.
The Hadar Bay
That's what he was. Interesting idea there.
Price is different. Since he was
Now,
Chayzer boy,
It is an interesting idea that
he is
for
retracted.
some reason the Rambam he doesn't say such an exclusion that a Kohen could drink in the middle of a meal. So it's a little bit of a question. We seem to have an argument between Tosfos and the Rambam. The Rambam seems to say that maybe it will intoxicate a person even if he is in the middle of the meal.
Oh yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind.
Where are they?
Now,
Aber was nissen shlo yomer b'shas kiddushin.
now I just tell you one more thing here, right? So far, so good.
Yeah, right.
This is clear.
Abal,
Okay. Now there is an idea further to go another step further in the parsha. It does say, let's go back to our pasuk. Where we at 582, page 582. We're farther than that. We're already 592. So it says here 594. So it says there 594 that also that you should not. Right after it says you shouldn't drink wine. So it says.
You
see the next.
Kicked out of the house or whatever. Now he finally gets those stuff.
So pasuk the verse Yud it says. You shouldn't drink wine. So verse 10 states that you should now, you'll be able to distinguish between holy and profane, and between tamei and tar, between what's pure and impure. And Rashi brings down that if you don't drink wine, to then your service will be good, it will be holy, kadosh, and it won't be profane. And we learn out from here that if someone is drinking wine and he does the service is profane. Now, let's go to the next pasuk. Yud Aleph. Lahoyres says Bnei Yisrael as kol achukim asher dibra Hashem. Lahoyres. What does lahoyres mean? Comes from the word Torah. What does the word Torah mean?
What's our psychological principle?
Torah means to teach. So here it says that you shouldn't drink wine and then go into the Beis HaMikdash, as that will cause death. And this will be right. This teaches us the difference. This will be the difference between someone who has a profane service or a holy service, right? It won't be a good service. And also, if he doesn't drink wine, leho ros, he can then teach. He can then teach the Jews all of the mitzvahs. But if someone is intoxicated, then he can't teach. He can't teach because his mind might have become mixed up. He might mix up one rule with another rule. If someone's drunk, you cannot rely on him for halachic ruling. So we learn out from this verse right here we learn out that one is not allowed to teach when he's a little drunk, and therefore, because that's teaching Torah, right? Rendering a legal judgment, right? That's when he's a lot of wine, he can't give a clear judgment. Which means they both have similar ideas. You need to have a clear mind to do the service in the Beis HaMikdash, and you need to have a clear mind to render a Torah ruling. So those are the two ideas, right? And from this, this is actually part of that mitzvah 152 here has brought down that the part of this idea is that you should not teach Torah. You shouldn't give any rulings while someone is drunk.
Absolutely.
So this is very relevant on Purim. On Purim, you go to a rabbi and they're drinking a lot of wine.
Even
You have to be very careful.
That's when he's
The rabbi has to be careful not to give any rulings out.
Out of nowhere.
Right, questions which are like real, need a legal decision, because then he's going to be going against this mitzvah of not to go into the Beis HaMikdash drinking wine and not to render legal rulings when he's drinking wine.
Very good.
And therefore, that's part of this mitzvah.
Do you have children from another woman?
Huh?
Do you have children from whom?
Who has the
This
children?
guy was.
Doesn't only apply to Kohanim?
Yeah.
Now, this applies to anyone, right? Now, this idea applies to anyone. Now, he's allowed to rule, there are certain exceptions. He's allowed to rule on something which is clear in the Torah. Something that's an open verse, that he's allowed to rule, because you don't need such knowledge to think clear, making comparisons. If it's clear, you could rule. And another thing is, he could read basic scriptures, the Torah, the Medrash, Halacha, he could read it. But as long as he's allowed to learn, but he can't render a legal
He
decision.
himself is coming to discredit his first words. What do you say?
Now, it's interesting.
Tell the truth.
Now, if he's one of the greatest halakhic authorities, and that's good, and when he learns, that's how he sees how the halacha is, and that bases his decision. He has to be careful. He shouldn't even learn, because he's going to be formulating his decisions with an unclear mind.
He must be telling the truth.
Therefore, he has to be clear. So he's not supposed to learn.
That's what Rashi
Shouldn't even learn Torah in such an area where he's formulating his legal decisions, because he's going to be formulated in an unclear manner. So if he drinks this amount, the amount is a revius. A revius is like a few ounces, let's say 4 ounces. If you drink 4 ounces, that's already, that would be the amount. Unless he puts water in there, or he goes to sleep a little, or he takes a walk. Once you do one of those 3 things, the wine dissipates. Just like we spoke out the other idea, right? To do it in the middle of the meal. So now we have 3 other exceptions. You take a walk, you put water in, or you go to sleep. So those are a little bit of exceptions. But he says once you start drinking more than that amount, more than those 4 ounces, it doesn't matter even if you sleep a little bit. If you sleep a little bit, that will add to the drunkenness. So it doesn't help to sleep a little bit or to go take a walk. Once you go over that amount, then it's too much. You have to wait all the way till it leaves. At all, you have to have the whole drunkenness leave. Now, so therefore it comes out that's part of this mitzvah.
Right, that's how Rashi learns it. But from a purely logical point of view, Abai points out the kol sheken the other way. Yeah. The guy discredits himself, you believe him. Where he never didn't discredit himself.
Right, now, and if you want to know when he'll transgress this, he will only transgress it if he actually renders a ruling which brings to an action. If he happens to hit upon the right ruling, then it won't be he won't have done the transgression. That's what comes out. Okay, so that's the idea over here. Okay, about this is a wise man. This is the whole idea there. Okay, so that's the second idea here. Good, so far so good. We'll go further now.
Is this why Aaron's sons were killed? Were they dropped
Yes.
in there?
So there's an argument here. So they bring down here. If you look on the bottom of page 594, he brings down that on the bottom paragraph on the right side, that since that this mitzvah was given, don't drink wine right after they died. That's why I told you first that Aaron's two children died, and then the next verse after they take them and they bury them, then it says don't drink wine. So Rabbi Yishmael learns out from here that they came into the Beit HaMikdash when they were drunk, and therefore that's why they died. That's why they died. That's what Rabbi Yishmael learns out. That's his idea. That's
Using the personal incense? That's what it says here.
What?
Brought their own incense.
Yeah.
Wasn't the sanctioned.
Right. So that was one problem. But Rabbi Shmuel, you have to see maybe there's an argument. What was the big overriding problem? Rabbi Shmuel says the overriding problem was that they came in drunk.
Well, maybe they brought the personal incense because they're drunk.
Where he
You'll be
is
making that mistake no more.
with brothers.
Yeah. So.
But he's not muhzak with.
So that's an interesting thing. That right after it says, don't come in. So that's the biggest lesson, right? That we see. It says don't come in when one is drunk.
You want to see my Purim costume?
How is he?
Should have came over.
He said, I don't have.
It's very
Well, I
good.
wanted to, but I had to work that day. I had to be
It
downtown.
looks very good.
That was fun.
Excellent. Okay, so those are the. That's basically this mitzvah here.
All right, let's take it slow with Rashi.
And
Go back.
any person, and by the way, it's not only with wine, it's with anything which is intoxicating, although there are levels of how bad it is, although the verse says, yayin, wine, which is intoxicating, we learn out that even on a lower level of transgression, one shouldn't drink even different types of intoxicating, let's say, from a date tree that gives out a type of intoxicating wine. Any of these types of beer, or any of these things, the point is that it mixes up the mind. And he can't give a clear ruling, and also he can't be able to do the service the right way, and therefore that extends to all these types of things.
You need two conditions in order to.
So therefore, that's basically the idea on this.
This parsha has all the listing of all the animals you can eat, but the rabbis disagree on the translations.
Yes, right. It's not clear on this. Right, because it's right. We have to work out on each animal what exactly he was talking about.
Yes.
Right.
I guess the one is a Sephardi rabbi, one's an Ashkenazi rabbi, and they just disagree.
Yeah, well, it's not clear.
There's no brothers.
It's not. We don't. Right. It doesn't come with pictures to say exactly what it is. So they argued about which ones it's referring to. Right. So there are a number of different arguments.
Change the chazaka.
But one thing we see.
So achas could kamaisa do the kamukim law. So all he's doing, if he says yesh libanim, is he's strengthening the chazaka she has anyways.
One thing we do see is that we have an idea that Torah is from heaven, because the fact that the Torah is able to write down and say exactly which animals are kosher, which animals are not kosher, and say that there are only this amount of animals that are kosher. That means that you have to know exactly how many animals there are. That means no one will ever come up with another animal that has these two signs, it chews its cud, and it also split hooves. No one's going to be able to say, I found a new animal.
We could genetically create one.
And if a brother shall come after that point in time and say, I'm the brother.
Yeah, okay, we'll have to think about it. But the Torah is giving you a rule that these are the only ones. Right? The Torah says these are the animals. The Torah says the gamal states clearly that you cannot eat a camel. A camel you can't eat because it only.
Ne'eman means what?
It doesn't chew its cud.
It does chew its cud, but it doesn't have split hooves. So the camel is the one that has only one of the two, only that sign. And on the other side, you have a different type called a shafan, right? In verse 5. before that, the pig also has split hooves, right? Very good, excellent. That's coming up. The chazir, yes, pasuk Zion 7, right? That has split hooves. It tries to show everyone that it's clean. It sticks out its hooves. Meanwhile, it doesn't chew its cud, but it tries to fake everyone out. Esav was compared to the chazir because Esav used to make believe he was a great man. He used to ask his father all these pious questions. Meanwhile, he wasn't really so pious. So therefore, we learn out from the chazir that's why the chazir, the pig, is unclean. Yeah, but that's the idea of the Torah.
That's never knew about brothers.
What?
So therefore, that's determined.
Yeah, so the locust
Do
is
you
an
ever have a
argument.
locust barbecue?
Only the Sephardim do.
Then,
The
he came to
Ashkenazim.
life and he strengthened that
Because
chazaka.
you need a Masorah, you need tradition.
By
Know
saying,
which
I have
one,
children.
which locust
Okay.
is kosher. And therefore, if you don't have a
Therefore,
tradition,
an ach would come
we can't,
later and say,
we
I'm an
don't
ach.
know. We lost the
Never
tradition
saw
in
children.
Ashkenaz.
Dismiss it as Rashi.
Okay.
I think when you're counting
Say, I'm the brother.
Fine, very good. So that's a few ideas.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
Is it true or false that we don't eat the pork because it's unhealthy? Or it was considered
No, that's
unhealthy?
false.
It's unclean. It's like not divinely clean. The real reason, as far as I know, is that God wants us to be different from the goyim. And he's like, if you want to be holy, you're a Jew, you have the capacity to do this.
Why is that
Eat
so
only
soft?
this. And he lets go eat whatever they want because they're just animals anyway.
The Rambam actually, in his he wrote a book called Guide to the Perplexed. Right, you heard of that? So there, I think he suggests different answers of maybe why it might not be good to eat different animals, like you're saying.
Switched around. He said, "Guess what? I do have."
But that's not why we. You have to think about it, and there could be arguments back and forth. You can look up that Rambam. That could be what you're saying. But we take on that. That's not the reason. We take on. We're not eating pork because Hashem told us not to.
In the case where he says, "I have,"
we're able to do a mitzvah.
I have.
We're able to do. We really maybe we want to, but we're doing it only. We're refraining because Hashem said we should.
Where he says, "I have
That's
brothers,"
the best mitzvah. We fear Hashem, so we want to do what Hashem says. It's good practice to work on the fear of God, to try to say that, to say, I see this fellow, he left his fancy watch on the table, and he went out to the bathroom, and I see, wow, David, this is a fancy watch you got. And David goes to the bathroom, and then, so no one's looking. I really could take his watch. So it's good practice to say, I really want to take the watch, but Hashem is watching me. Hashem is watching me. Watch. He's watching me. And therefore, there's fear of God. I have fear of God. I want to bring more fear of God, and therefore I'm not taking it because I know Hashem is watching. I'll try to say that, and that will help.
On that note, the kashrut that says you can't eat meat goes to. I'm telling you this. I hope it's right. It goes to not being able to abuse animals.
And he said, "I have children."
The reason
Cooking its own, the child in its mother's milk is like some kind of bizarre abuse of animals that we should be witness to, and that's why we can't eat cheeseburgers.
Yeah, but the cheeseburger doesn't have to do with its own mother's milk. You can't cook a burger.
It might be.
That's the reason? No, we say any meat in any milk doesn't have to do with. It happens to say those words in the verse. B'chalev imo, in its mother's milk, but it doesn't mean literally. We learn out. It just comes to say in milk. There's reasons why it says mother, but we learn out for everything.
But the reasoning goes to being cruel to the animals.
That's the reason because of the mother's milk. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think that's the reason. We could look up chinuch, and we get up to that's Parshas Mishpatim. If he gives a reason, I think. This is like a chok. A chok means that it's a statute that we don't know the reason, but maybe the chinuch will tell us the reason. Maybe next week we could check it out because it's in the first volume of this. What the reason is, but basically it doesn't have a reason that we understand. But he might advance a reason for us because every mitzvah he tries to give us a little bit of a taste to enjoy.
aim with it.
Okay. Shkaya.
Sorry.